Wait, further forward, further back, next to you, you. Unfortunately, your time was used up in your reluctance.
I'm always up here right before the break. Hello. One thing I wanted to say about the new CD is I listen to it all the time, day and night, and it's really great at night to get your partner in the mood. Because, but what he does is once we get started, he puts it on pause because he's embarrassed to have you in the room.
It's particularly shocking when Abraham's voice says, "Source is aware of you right now."
Yes. And then we hit play again when we're done. So, my most important question was about a month. Well, I'm going to tell an out of the vortex experience, but I'm clearly in the vortex talking about it.
That's not possible.
Okay, so let me pop out just for a minute to get your.
And why would any deliberate creative person want to do something as foolish as that?
I'm not going to preface it. I'm just going to start talking then. So
So there is no free will.
I've been told I had clinical depression, and I've had that, blah, 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 that's a story. About 3 months ago, I went through a really bad spell where I was really suicidal. And the question is, because I've spent years trying to trust this emotional guidance system, and I do most of the time, and it serves me so well. And that's my main focus in life, is to trust this no matter what. No matter what you say, no matter what a teacher says, no matter what my partner says, I trust this. In the midst of that depression, my emotional guidance system, because the depression affects the emotions, I was so depressed that I kind of felt, the analogy I use is like if you're on a ship with a compass and the compass was just stuck on south. And I couldn't, so if I'm trusting my emotional guidance system, but the emotional guidance system, it's like a computer with a virus, I was really lost as to what to do.
Well, depression, we don't think that your emotional guidance system was out of whack. When you feel depressed, it's giving you a very strong signal.
But I couldn't.
It's not working.
I couldn't go anywhere from there. I mean, I couldn't even reach for a better feeling thought because it was so deep and dark. So
what you could do is release thought. Yes.
I did that. I slept which is what a lot of people with depression do. Which is my quickest way of getting to work. So when are you going to get to the good part here? Well, so there is no answer to that question? I mean, I thought it was a great question. If the emotional guidance system can't be trusted, what do I trust?
But the emotional guidance, that there is never a time. Your emotional guidance system, the feeling of depression that you were feeling was your indicator that you had been focused upon enough things long enough that you had managed to deplete yourself of your alignment with who you really are. And that's what depleting yourself of who you really are feels like. So what's the question? The question is, so what do I do from there?
How could I have reached for a better feeling thought when I couldn't find a better feeling thought? I couldn't talk my way out of it, pray my way out of it, meditate my way out of it, sleep my way out of it.
Well, clearly none of that's true because you're not still there. So something happened. You tell us. What happened? What happened? Because you're not still there. You started this conversation by saying, now I'm in the vortex, but I wasn't, but I want to talk about when I wasn't. And we say, keep that up and you won't be again. In other words, that's really the point that we're making. If you go back and analyze what your depression was about, you have to activate whatever it was, and then you are out of the vortex to the degree that you're having the conversation. It's like the opposite. What we've been encouraging all day here today, and what we were doing with our friend just now, we were saying, when you're in the vortex, milk it. But what you're doing is being out of the vortex and milking it. But even more, you're not even out of the vortex. You're speculating about when you were out of the vortex and milking it by having a conversation about it or by wanting to speculate about it. All under the guise of seeking information or an answer to a question.
Okay. We'll throw that question out.
But you get what we're talking about?
I do get it.
This is the way a whole lot of people hold themselves in a sort of eternal quagmire of never-ending therapy. In other words, let's talk about what's bothering us, and let's talk about why it bothered us. And we say, let's not. Because that's out of the vortex, out of the vortex, out of the vortex, and it's doing the opposite of what this is all about. This is about letting the vortex tune you to a higher vibration. And what you're saying is, but Abraham, I was vibrationalist. I was so out of sync, and this is what we want you to hear. If you do nothing to support or encourage the pain that you're in, the vortex will call you upward. It will. So that's why it is a normal thing for someone who's really in depression to sleep, because everything in your body sort of shuts down. Your inner being guides every part of you to defocus, deconstruct, defocus. And in that deep slumber, when there's no more activation of that negative vibration, when you awaken in a better place.
Okay.
But it's extreme, you see. And the reason it's extreme is because you're stubborn. You're stubborn, and you're not different than a lot of people. You believe that you can think your way out of depression, and you can't. Because when you think about what's depressing you, it holds you out of the vortex, and law of attraction just brings you more of it. You have to deconstruct the thought. And that's why we encourage you to turn to emotion. But when you turn to emotion, you said, I just feel awful. I feel suicidal. And we say, you're not wanting to withdraw from life. You're wanting to withdraw from resistance. So the first thing that we would do, if we had been in conversation with you while you had been there, the most important thing that we would have been saying to you, in fact, your inner being was, but you couldn't hear it because you couldn't find the revelation of that because you were too far from the vibration of it. But what your inner being was saying is, it's all right, and you're just right, and there's nothing wrong with you, and it's going to be all right. And this too shall pass, and be easy about this, and give yourself a break, and don't take this so hard, and don't try so hard, and just be easy about it, and life will get better, and you will feel better, and just ease up a little bit, and don't try so hard, and just take a nap, and would you like something to eat, and just be easy about this, because there's nothing that you have to do, and you're not getting it wrong, and you'll never get it done. Everything's all right. Just be easy about it. Just take it easy. All is well, all is right. It's going to be all right. It's going to feel better. That is the message that your inner being is projecting. All is really well. All is really well. Take it easy, you see. And so if you could just offer some of those thoughts to yourself.
So that's how I got out of it.
Oh, now you remember.
Yeah.
By giving yourself a break, by not making yourself wrong, by accepting that it's all right to have a step one moment, by acknowledging that if you never had a step one moment, you wouldn't have anything in the vortex, by acknowledging that you could never be manic depressive, or you could never feel that awful if you hadn't put so much in your vortex. That's the real thing that you want to remember at a time of despair.
I like that
I couldn't
story.
even begin to experience the level of this despair if I were not really so much more. And never mind that I can't get there right now. Later, Gator. It's there. It's waiting for me. It's not going away. Source loves me while I can't feel it right now. I think I'll take a nap. Good time for a segment of refreshment.